Hey, I don't know if you can hear me. We're having some issues. Hold on. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. All right, peace, peace, peace. Can you hear me? Okay, we're trying to get this set up. Yeah, it's one of them just Navi days. Why in the fuck is that going through there? Hmm. Peace, peace, peace. Not even sure which one I am. Let me see. Testing, testing. All right, I hear it. I don't like it. What's up, ghetto child? Ah, let's see, I'm hearing it go through this one. Hold on. Let's see if we can get this to go correctly. Hope you guys are doing okay. I think this is Mother's Day weekend, and I may have it wrong, but I haven't played this in many years. My daughter had it, and you have to excuse me. I'm hearing feedback from my um, phone, and I got a few things going on over here, but I haven't played this for many years, and my daughter had it because I gave her one of my old phones, and she kept all my videos and recordings. Um, and when I heard this song, or not this song, but this brother's presentation, it brought tears to my eyes. And I was just saving it for Mother's Day, which I think is in 2 days. I'm not sure. I know my daughter wanted to come down, but I wasn't. I was a little tired yesterday, and I'm kind of thinking about some things, if nothing else. Kind of watching some stuff. I haven't totally been able to disconnect from this shit, which I should, because what I saw is rather disturbing. Um, but I'm trying to disconnect. There is I was trying to find a place to put this, but I didn't have an opportunity. A few days ago, I was out running some errands, some things I forgot to do, and um, I ended up at a Dollar General here in town. And this man died in the store. He actually died, and I actually watched it. Now, they did make me leave. I was one of the last customers to be kicked out of the store or to be asked to leave. And um, they had been working on him for like 20 minutes, and his ears were blue. Um, and I was watching all of this. I watched, it's crazy to walk upon a scene like that because the man came in the store right after me. And he hit the floor, as I was walking up to the register, my last item that I was picking up, they were talking about something, and then I honed in on what they were talking about, and this man had passed out, and I walked around the little end cap and saw him laying there. And for a good 30 minutes or so, I stayed there, and it might have been, I didn't time it technically, but I stayed there and watched. I can say that it affected me. And because of my synchronicity, the way I do synchronicity, some other things died as well. Um, my need for this community died. Um, Watching what the brothers and sisters online have been doing since um, that woman tried to air out my shit, uh, a lot of people have actually died and are walking zombies to me. Trying to stay focused on it just being a matter of a media blitz right now. But when we come down to it, it's very hard to trust anything that goes on online. Um, we are our own problem. But anyway, the man, I watched it. It was a trip because as I was standing there, the cashier and a brother were like the lead ones before the police were called and before the ambulance was called. And the brother was trying to wake him up verbally and kind of tapping on him. And, I'm looking, but then I started to notice that man is blue. He's turning blue. And I was like, is he breathing? And at some point, I did see that that his stomach was rising and falling, that he was still breathing. And like I said, the brother was trying to wake him up and tap him. And I was like, did anybody call the ambulance? And the cashier actually was on the phone with him. But mind you, when I walked up to the counter, she walked in front of me, so she was just now calling them. So he had literally just hit the floor, and he came in right behind me. Um, Way back in the day, I took CPR, and I was telling my friends, my family, that even though I had taken it, I didn't want to touch him. Um, he was turning blue, but I had a little bit of relief when I saw that his stomach was going up and down, but he had like this stuff bubbling out of his throat. He had dentures. He had a really big stomach, neck, and the like, and really small legs. Um, and here where I'm living at right now is it's starting to get hot again. And there's a lot of homeless people who are here, and a lot of people who, um, I would say, just barely making it, if you would. Um, but when it was all said and done, at that point, there was a woman who actually started doing chest compressions on him. And I was glad that she did because I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I just couldn't. For some of you who um, don't know any parts of my story for real, my mother was a nurse, and I had several career options that I wanted to do, and one of them would have been to go into nursing, but I never wanted to have anyone's hands life in my hands. And it was because of the things that I've seen in with humanity, if you would, where people who rank higher and because of certain protocols, which sometimes doesn't make sense to me, uh, could possibly tell me one day in nursing that there's nothing else that we could do, even though there were probably many things that we can do, but for finances and somebody getting to their golf game, if you would, that we might not be able to save a life. So I never really wanted to go into nursing because of that. I didn't want that day to come where I was unable to help. Um, so anyway, homeboy, he was laying there on the ground, and the one lady came and she started doing chest compressions, and I walked around. I was actually relieved that somebody had done that. That somebody had went to his aid. But in looking at that situation, nobody was going to do any mouth to mouth resuscitation at all. That was, you could tell that that wasn't going to happen. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I learn back in the day? Um, that we got to go get some saran wrap and somebody hurry up and get the, paramedics here so they can help save this man's life. And so, police officer, she came through and excuse me, she started giving him, she took over the chest compressions. Um, and then finally the paramedics showed up and all kind of things went on. I was watching. It was exciting for me, but when the first lady was doing chest compressions on him, I didn't want to touch him. I didn't want to have, you know, I didn't really want to be involved, but I started talking to him, um, hoping something would snap him back or whatever the case is. That's all I could do. And the police officer, she came and she took over the chest compressions, and then the paramedics came and they started to deal with stuff. But at the same time, even though he was breathing a little bit, he had mucus coming out of his mouth. He wasn't moving, he wasn't responding. Um, his ears were blue again. You could see some of the color coming back, and they put him on this board. And I know y'all seen the board. I used to like the that show. What's that show with Angela Bassett, where she was a police officer, I think, and it had to do with the fire, LA fire, and all of that. I used to like watching that. But they put him on this board, and I was tripping because the board had like LED lights on it, or digital lights on it, and so I didn't know what that was, but I just thought the board was a board for picking him up, and they was like dead man lift or dead man something, and they lifted him up and put the board under him, and they tried to revive him, tried to resuscitate him. Um, Different people switched off, uh, doing chest compressions, and then there was this strap that they had that they put around him from that board, and at some point, and it was attached to this machine, and it started doing chest compressions. And I make mention of this because the female paramedic that was there, and I was going from like probably like 11 o'clock in positioning to his head to like 9 o'clock. I could see it from two angles, and I was trying to be out of the way. And when I went to like the 9 o'clock position, when the paramedic was there, the female paramedic had taken over from the police officer. I noticed at one point that she wasn't giving the strongest chest compressions, and it became obvious when the machine really started pushing his chest, pushing on his chest and stuff. But they had to keep charging that thing up, and they must have had to charge it up like 4 or 5 times. Um, and he was not responding. Um, they put something in they put an IV in, they put something in the IV. They tried to clear his throat. Like when the brother was there at first, he said, I think he's got dentures. And it was at one point when they were giving chest compressions that I was like, his dentures came out, his dentures came up. So I just took it as he was able to breathe, that he was trying to, something was happening in that aspect. But they did end up taking his dentures out. The paramedics took his dentures out, and you know, they got the little oxygen thing that you squeeze, and then they started working on getting um I think they tried to clear his throat. And he was a big guy. He was a big guy, but you could tell from the darkness on his legs and the scabs on his shin that he wasn't getting the best nutrition in his life and stuff like that. But they finally put the thing down his throat, and they were using a little hand. They attached a little hand air thing, um, to give him air in the midst of the compressions. And then they went and got an oxygen tank, and I was like, okay, you know. And matter of fact, they used two oxygen tanks. And mind you, I've never seen this type of shit before. Um, so I was really intrigued. I was staying out of the way. They Everybody left the store. My shit is still sitting on the counter that I haven't paid for. You can call it being nosy, or just um, something else more important took precedence. And so they must have worked on this guy for like 20 minutes, if not 30 minutes. But everybody else was outside the store, and I wouldn't leave. Okay, I wouldn't leave. I was standing back watching. I mean, there was a point where this top, I mean, they started moving stuff out of the way. Some of the tables that were there, sales tables, but there was this little top, plastic top, that got kicked into the scene. And I was like, man, I hope nobody falls on that. I hope they see that and don't fall on it. There's just a lot of shit going through my mind. But at the same time, I kept tearing up. Um, I really wanted that guy to come back. I don't know his life. I don't know him. But it also kind of made me think about how when we talk this black white shit, it wasn't a black white thing. It was, I mean, it was there. I didn't want to give him CPR because, of how he looked or anything like that, and scared him out, that I would fuck up or didn't know what I was doing. But I just thought about how, even like with the one lady in the beginning before the police got there, giving him chest compressions. I was wondering if that was a matter of, this was one of her own, because the brother didn't do anything, the cashier didn't do anything, I didn't do anything. Some people were saying that they didn't know how to give CPR or anything like that. And this lady jumped in, this one of his own race jumped in. And I just thought about, as I was looking there, watching this scene, um, because I do have some health conditions. I was thinking about how in situations like that, will other people refuse to help you, or not give you the best care, if you would. Like I said, I saw that at one point, and I understand the lady probably got tired because of the straight arm pushes that they had to do, but um, I just noticed she wasn't pushing as hard as she should have at one point, at just one point. And I just thought about how, what if I was in that situation? Because in the morning, I have trouble in the morning I have to clear my lungs out in certain ways. And I understood what possibly could happen. I wanted to know what happened, you know, but that sometimes I myself get fatigued and I just have to stop and not panic. Um, Cardiovascular disease or whatever, I don't fucking know. But I just thought about how deep our prejudice goes sometimes. I even question myself to say, did you not do anything because he wasn't one of your people? Or was it something else? And I said, well, I said, it could have been there, but at the same time, why would I sit there and cry? I really wanted that dude to come back. I didn't want that day to be his day. And I didn't even know him, no vested interest or anything. So, like I said, 20, 30 minutes in, um, the police officer, one of the male police officers, finally hones in on me, and there's a couple shoppers in the store. And he asked me if I could leave the store. I said, "Can I get my shit first?" And he was like, "I think they're going to be closing," which basically to me meant they can't bring this man back, and they're getting ready to call that code in. Um, so I say that he passed away, but I didn't actually follow it to the end. I don't know if they were able to revive him at all. Um, at one point, they thought that I worked at the store, and I was like, no, but I was able to direct them to the two people that they needed to talk to, you know. And there was another point where he had dropped his keys and something else that he had, and the cashier had that, and I was telling the cashier and them, put his stuff in a bag. As soon as the police officers or the ambulance got there, I was telling them, put his stuff in a bag so that it can go with him, you know. Um, that was crazy because, like, when I went outside and I got in the car and I sat in the car, um, I called my daughter, and my daughter had just passed by. She's like, "Mom, I know just how long you've been up there because I saw the ambulance when they came." Um, but I called my daughter and I just broke down and I started crying because that could have been that could have been me. Just to think how much of life is not completed or finished or finalized or prepared or whatever, and you go out like that and nobody knows that you went out like that. I don't know. It tripped me out. It tripped me out. And so I was real solemn all day. I wanted to tell people online the other day what was going on, but they're over here trolling each other, um, and doing this dumb shit that they do for whatever reasons they do it. But as I was thinking about it later, I talked to a family member about it, and they're like, "You okay?" Yeah, I'm okay. It's just I've never seen that before. I mean, some people have had death all around them, but and seen death of friends, loved ones, strangers, whatever. And I just haven't. Um, I don't know. It probably affects me the same as it affects other people, but I just know that when my great grandmother died when I was like 6, I was the one that found her, and I remember. I still remember going to get my grandmother to tell her that her mom wasn't responding or whatever words I used at that age. I faintly remember the funeral, Um, and then I know after that funeral, my life changed, and that's how I ended up with my mom and my sister. Um, I don't do well with death. But as I thought about this, what else was going on, the synchronicity, I was like, this community just died in my eyes. Um, and a change is about to happen. I just want to say, first of all, before some of you don't understand, I appreciate the brothers and sisters who did not exacerbate that situation, even though they heard it. Because I still been watching. I tried to move, but I still been watching. I said, okay. Yeah, there's still people with a lot of common sense, but the game that's being played, oh my God, it's massive. That people play with people's lives the way that they do, um, and take it as a joke. But it's funny, you know. But to continue, y'all got comments up here? Okay, what we got up here? I think I was at 4.99 Ghetto Child. I think I was at 4.99. Yeah, trying to get me there. I might open up and edit some of the videos that I have, um, to get some more videos up here because I've been up here for years. I got a lot of damn videos back in the back, for those who have been with me since my L Bay day and all of that, um, those years. But anyway, um, the crazy thing is that morning I had been thinking about getting active. Okay, I've been real inactive in the truck. I know some of you saw me when I unloaded um, all those Snapple bottles at the landfill. That felt good. I didn't think I could do it. I did it, and that felt good. But for the most part, just sitting in that truck, it wasn't like back in the day when I used to run pneumatics and you had to climb ladders and catwalks and open tanks and move hoses and stuff like that. I got real lazy in the truck, and my health suffered from it. Some of you guys may have known that I was in the hospital or went to the hospital and had to have, well, I think they gave me 4 breathing treatments. Some of you may know that I passed out in a rest area one day. Okay. Um, some arthritis stuff going on with my lower back, but just not active. But that morning, and it was ironic because that morning I had been like, you need to get up off your ass and you need to start exercising. And okay, pull up some aerobic videos online. You can do that. And um, then I was like, oh, you need a stair step. Oh, you need a yoga mat. Just different shit I was saying. And then I got to moving around and I was like, damn, I done got old. That kind of shit. But I had been thinking about it. I was like, I gotta go. I even looked around for a gym to go through too. They got some gym memberships up here. And I was getting ready to do one that's nationally known. Later on in the day, after I left that spot where the man passed away at, my daughter was telling me, yeah, people have trouble getting out of that contract with them, even though there's some good reviews for them. And then she's like, They have a fitness center up here that you can go to, and it costs $3 and $20 a month. So as soon as she said it, coming from that spot, I went right over there, talked to them, got signed up. Matter of fact, they signed me up, and I didn't have to pay anything. They walked me around. You know, there's some people were in there playing basketball. These two guys were in there playing basketball, which that ball just, the basketball is an old friend. Okay, you know. Um, and so they walked me around and showed me everything. It's not anything major, but they had a sauna in there. And so I was like, man, I gotta go. I gotta go in that sauna. Like I was telling my sister, I said the last time I was in the sauna was, shit, I probably was like 17, 18, 19 years old. Probably about 19 years old. Um, this dude I was dating took me to one, but I haven't been to a sauna. And so I started, when I came back home, I signed up for it. They gave me my little membership card. They're going to be closed for the winter. I mean, for the summer. I'm sorry. And I was telling my sister that I was going to go until they close, and then the pool will open up. So, you know, that's another option up here. But long story short, um, yesterday morning, the day after I signed up, I went back over there to the fitness center and got in the sauna, which I actually love this shit. It felt good. I felt my whole chest open up, you know. Um, yeah, I felt my whole chest open up. But, and it's ironic because anybody knows Lady La had a video up yesterday where she was on the treadmill. I was like, isn't this shit ironic? Go that way. Go that way, you know. Go towards the fitness stuff. But um, I actually got on the stair stepper and reminded myself that you are not 20 and 30 and 40 anymore. So take your time, you know. And but I got on there and then I went into the weight room after I got finished because I was looking for the leg press machine, um, which is out of service. It's broken. And there's a guy in there. There's like three guys in there, two of ours and a white guy. And just mind you, out of those three, the one brother, he was getting ready to lift up these weights and he just like mean mugged me something fierce. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, and I was just trying to see what all was in there and trying to look at the different equipment because I was looking for the leg press machine, bring some strength back to these legs and stuff. And I don't know, I guess it dawned on him how he was looking at me and he stopped. I was like, I guess I'm a threat being a female in here, you know. I don't know what that does to y'all because y'all go crazy sometimes when a female is present. Lose all fucking common sense or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I'll come back on that later. Because I got a late start yesterday. They opened at like 7 in the morning. I didn't get there until sometime after 9. I think I left there about 11 something. But um, I went got the basketball, shot the basketball around. And, you know, the first day that I went there, that basketball was calling. And the lady who was signing me up, she did hand me a basketball, let me go in there and shoot for a minute. But I had no stamina. I had no, um, I really got fatigued really fast. Can't run, you know, these type of things. It's crazy. It's a bitch when you get old. Okay. Um, but after going to the sauna and being on the stair stepper, I was able to move around a little bit more, throw the ball a little bit more, and I'm gonna make a commitment to make my health a priority and not this shit that I'm looking at online, just sitting here vegging out on BS and rhetoric, um, because that's all it is. But I understand people got an agenda that they're trying to run. It becomes clear when you look at it totally, and I wish y'all well on that shit. Okay. Um, but a lot of times you shoot yourself in the foot. Okay. Okay, thank you, Ghetto. Okay, thank you. Um, so that I'm making a priority to go get in the sauna in the morning. Because I went yesterday and I thought I had everything and I meant to grab my towel. And then when I got there, I realized, oh, shit, you don't have your towel. Especially when the directions said, take off all your clothes and wrap your towel around you real loosely. I'm like, yeah, shit. So luckily it wasn't crowded. But I'm gonna make that a priority because um, that's something that I haven't seen with Parks and Rec before. Them actually having a sauna. That's a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, this place is going to close for the summer because um, they have a problem with their air conditioning. And so it'll be no basketball, no weights, no stair stepper, no treadmill, none of that stuff. Um, so we might have to make some other choices, but hopefully I'll be okay by then. I mean, even in this place where I'm at, the temperature gets to like 120 degrees, 115 degrees and shit. And that's the one thing um, about this area here. Some people talk about going back down south. Um, being in the east, being in the Midwest, being in the South, different things like that. Um, but even when I took off and went to get my stuff from Texas, my hay fever kicked in immediately. And the thing about down here where I am, as opposed to the South or the East, is that we deal with dry heat, and that's what that sauna is like. Um, you know, dealing with that dry heat, which was beautiful. People are a little nasty because I noticed, I was like, why in the hell are all these water bottles up under here? And why didn't you take your water bottle? I did read up on it a little bit, and they were saying that you have to be hydrated, um, drink a lot of water before, during, and after, and take as much time as you used in the sauna, use the same amount of time to cool down. By the time I got out of there, I called my sister. I was like, I'm loving this shit. This is a good thing right here in the city, very small city that I live in, but a military city nonetheless. Um, so that was beautiful. That was a good thing. Um, so what time is it over here? It's like 4 o'clock. So I got a couple hours, and I'm gonna shoot back out there. Try to go there early, get in that sauna, get in that shower, get on that stair stepper. Maybe we'll stretch out and maybe lift some weights or something like that. I have some leg weights and some weights for my wrists and stuff. But I gotta find those. Those are still in a bag somewhere somewhere in one of these damn bags. But that's the priority right now. Amid everything else, the priority is my health. I saw a video where they talked about how pineapples really help with the parasites in your stomach. And so we've done the pineapple a couple times. Actually, I had some pineapple juice in here. I ran out. I didn't uh, go get any more, but saw somebody doing pineapples and papaya. And so I ran out, got some papaya and a pineapple. So I'm going to shoot that in the blender. Um, and then the guy was talking about taking a teaspoon of papaya seeds and drinking water down with that it really helps with parasites. Um, so that's where it's at right now, really just trying to take care of my health. Um, yesterday I was listening. I've been having two, three devices on, just listening to shit, just for noise sake for the most part. And um, what I see is not good. I don't know. However they play it, it's not good. Um, and I was thinking about it yesterday. I said, well, the last few times this happened, I just unsubscribed from everybody. And I didn't want to do that again because sometimes y'all give really good information, but at other times, like right now, it's I don't know, it feels like a media blitz, um, rhetoric, uh, time wasting tactics, if you would, for whatever reason. And for me, sometimes you just got to move away from that, you know. Um, because for a lot of people, it seems like the young folks play too many games and don't realize um, how everything plays out. And when I say young folks, you could be 10 years younger than me, 20 years younger than me, or 30 years younger than me, and it's the same shit. A new era in time. Um, because of the way I think, I got to looking at, well, why would this play out like this? Because there's no reason that Jackie Brown, and to a lesser degree, Lashandra would um, need to put that information out there. And I think it's just a matter of trying to stifle any dissenting opinion and to damage a person's reputation, which is very irritating to me. Um, because in this environment, it's like no matter what you do, unless you give it up in some way, money, body, intellect, whatever, this group will always try to ostracize you. Um, like I said, I had the mindset that many people were smarter um, than they are, but I guess the agenda of what's going on for social media is stronger than humanity. And I found it interesting to see how, um, mind you, Nasir said he was going to go. He had beef with Sanchez, and he handled that. He went over there. So it's just that easy. Just call him up, say, hey, we need to handle this and have this conversation. And they had a whole stream on that Farrakhan shit. And I still don't trust Farrakhan. Okay. I'm not blinded by the fucking light. Okay. Because even some things that Nasir was saying about what he witnessed, what he saw, what he knew because of his position still doesn't take away from um, things like, give you an example, I could be in a particular church, and my church is part of a network of churches, and there could be things going on in other churches within that network that um, are questionable, and you can get lumped into it. I don't take away from what Nasir says. I just have to understand that everybody isn't in the same place and everybody doesn't have the same experiences. And my intuition stands on this shit. It's too much funky shit going on as far as social media influencers are concerned. The other one that I thought was really interesting in my observation of things that happened since that illustrious day was how Bobby Knight popped back out. And I said, you know what? That's probably where all of the shit was coming from in the first place. Okay. Um, like he said, he only does things for content. I started not to tell y'all I was watching that, but yeah, I saw that shit too. Um, what's the other side of this? somebody said on earlier tonight, "Hey, Supreme is live." And I forgot that I wasn't subscribed to their channels anymore. Um, but I did pay attention to that. Um, some things I won't say, but shit, he said something in there. I can't remember what was said in there, but it's like everybody's got their own program to go for, and I still think that overall people shoot themselves in the foot a lot. But oh, there it is. Okay, I found the statement. Um, and not that they really wanted to deal with it, but Supreme mentioned something about women, if women are the teachers and they're supposed to teach us how to trust and this, that, and the other, you know, basically, are we teaching those things? And I looked at what happened in the past week and how things have been happening. And in many regards, I want to say, brothers, you on your own. Um, because we're messy. And it's not a matter of women being messy. It's you guys are having whole fucking conversations about people being gay. And you want us to do what with that? Mm-mm. You don't get to blame none of that shit on us. You know, the thing that I'm looking at now is what's the alternative? Because if you come with information, somebody's going to utilize that information. You can watch Smoke Signals channel day in and day out and watch them have slapbox all day, okay? No solution, just constant. All I can attribute it to is some male shit that this is the way you guys are programmed, and we're not getting anywhere by it. And to say that a female would come up and teach you anything and show you anything, you don't trust females because you said that we've shown you guys not to trust females. And just with the situation with Jackie Brown um, and root words, I don't blame you because it's like everybody has their mask on, and it's like, who do you have this mask on for? Because, let me just put it this way. Sometimes when y'all do fucked up shit and or y'all do some shit and then you guys decide, oh, I'm not coming up. I'm not going to do a live. I told y'all before, the algorithm allows other things to come forward. And when those things come forward, you kind of see who's behind some of the shit. So even though people are active, some other things came up. And so I see the other side of it. And it's like, this is this team versus that team versus the other team. How many teams we got out here? And can we ever fix this? Social media is not for fixing any of this shit. Especially on this side. Um, some weak ass shit going on right now. Um, I saw somebody in the chat said something about holding people accountable when T. Turner came up there, holding women accountable. I'm like, y'all put these type of women up here and you support them. You want women to hold women accountable when you don't hold men accountable, when the men don't hold the men accountable. And what's the alternative? The divestment group And people like the Queen Maker, who has popped back up. I don't know if she was gone, but I didn't see her. But she popped back up too. I said, wow, this is. I said, I gotta move. I gotta move out of this fucking community. Um, because you guys are fucking with my mental health, technically, and not just mine, other people's as well. Um, and it doesn't matter what we say about anything. The beat goes on because the show must go on. And I kind of feel bad that there was even a push to allow people to have platforms based on networks, certain networks that were out here. I won't go into no detail about that because I don't want y'all to know how much I know, how much I've seen. Probably nothing in comparison to what the Black conscious, New York Sinetta, Mason, and otherwise community has seen. Um, so, so when I talk about like today, like I said, some things have died. And when I talk about today, just Navi, um, there's going to be some changes. Um, and the sad thing is having to possibly go to my backup channel in order to show other things without showing too much of my life because to see BK show up with Loves A and Root, ooh, that's some nasty work right there. Um, but it's becoming apparent that we'll not be able to change anything in the minds of the people because the people that we're looking to change those things with or in the foreground are more concerned um, with their image and their lies, and that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Um, Many times they say that we are our own worst enemy, and social media, especially here on YouTube, has proven that. We had statements in the past about the pot calling the kettle black, and in some aspects, what is going on with P. Diddy versus 50 Cent and Terrence Howard is no different in these non-famous circles of social media influencers and channel holders. Personally, because of the things that I see and hear, and again, I do recognize that some people stood with me on this, but I didn't ask you to approve of my former lifestyle. Um, but to put that shit out there like that, um, that's some nasty work right there. That was some nasty work. You didn't win. It was just nasty. Okay. It's unnerving when you think more of other people than you do of yourself. Because even me going off on her about her 5 men that she boasts about, I didn't put that shit out in public. And many people in this community needed an excuse, and others just needed content. Um, what you say, Gigi? How do I feel about the Trump's executive order on the truckers? If it's true, Gigi, um, I'm with it. I'm with it. Anything to curtail this industry. Um, I did see a clip where it talked about that. Uh, where they said if you couldn't speak English, if you couldn't communicate in English, that those folks are out of here. Now, will that happen totally? I doubt it, because at the same time, while we're talking English for trucking, there are some places like close to the border where the majority of the language is Spanish. And many of us, some of us, a lot of us don't speak Spanish. So even though he put this order out here, it may not go as far as they think it's going to go. Um, but I've been out here to see people who cannot speak the language. Matter of fact, with the things that I'm going through with the truck, there have been people who have contacted me who cannot speak English, who we can, or not speak English well, and we cannot communicate. And as one person said, I think it was Bolston, when he was talking about our culture, um, it's a cultural thing. Um, that is going to be the problem. I'll give you an example. Um, I spoke with, I was trying to figure out if I was going to go, um, if I was going to go under somebody's authority, or if I was going to go for my own authority. And, you know, instead of taking that full step, I took a half step and ended up speaking with some companies who would have loved to have taken me up under them, which causes me pause. It ain't like it used to be. And cultural differences. Uh, in the midst of a business call, he asked me how old I was. Said I sounded like I was like 18 or some shit like that. Um, and it seemed a little fucking flirtatious, and he wasn't one of us. Okay. I was like, man, it don't matter where the dick swings, excuse my language, but somebody wants to always put you under subjection, you know, in some way, shape, or form. And I told him, I said, you setting yourself up for a lawsuit, because the one thing you didn't have to do was ask me my age, because you would have seen it on my driver's license. But to say that you think I'm 18, I had to tell him, I said, I'm probably older than you are. And then there was something that I said, and he just dismissed it. Um, and all I was doing, I was being polite, like, please and thank you and all of that, because it is business. And he's like, yeah, 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 whatever. That shit. And I'm like, these are some of the problems. Cultural differences. Even in Sacramento, another thing since COVID, as far as trucking is concerned, another thing as far as COVID is that um, they push, and this whole thing about defund the police and shit that was happening in Atlanta with the police training facility, or whatever the fuck that was. Um, some of the people who regulate this industry, and law enforcement, if you would, aren't doing the job like they used to. And for us who get tickets, and I don't have tickets, I've had a few, but for the most part, I'm not reckless out here. Um, give you an example. Let me try this again. Back in the day, we got large car drivers who drive their asses off and be doing 100 and ungoverned and all this shit. Okay, we've had that in the past. But in California, the speed limit is 55 for truckers, unless you're, somewhere on a haul road or something like that. But we could get away with like 62 without getting a ticket. Well, there was a story some years ago, and I made mention of it around Sacramento, where one of these foreigners was rolling 70 miles per hour going down I-5 right around Sacramento and ran into a man leaving who had just left work, plowed into him, no skid marks for brakes or any of that stuff. And these are a lot of the foreigners that's going on that are here. Okay. You know, super truckers. Like I try to tell young people or new drivers, you don't have to be a super trucker out here. Okay. To avoid that ego shit that goes on, Um, I've had it where I'm rolling, and as long as they cannot see that I'm a woman out here, we good. But when I pass some of these foreigners up and they look over and see I'm a melanated woman, now they're pushing me to go faster because they don't want me to pass them. And with the last company that I was with, California, I-5 is the um, CHP training grounds. That's why I hate driving I-5. Okay. But um, with the last company that I was with, they were monitoring our speed. And I would be passed up by drivers with the same company, but then they start saying, "Oh, you're the number one speeder in this, in our company on this fleet," and I'm like, "The fuck, a bunch of bullshit." Okay, um, so it's just different little things that just don't get taken care of. Just like over here on social media, there's different little things that just do not get taken care of. Um, as I said before, people talked about, or church hurt. They talk about different things that happen to us, and how it comes back that it's not really the organization that screws us up, it's the people, because the people are part of those churches, those lodges, those government entities, these channels, panels, and whatever the case is. It's the people that make organization bad. um this arena in the past few weeks has shown that many people cannot judge correctly, and that leaves us in a bad place in the future. It leaves us in a bad place for thinking that anybody will take us serious in any regard, because we've shown that we will cut a corner, that we will lie, that we will sacrifice our own, that we won't support our women, that we look for excuses, any excuse to disregard some of our people. We've shown that it's not white folks, but it's brothers and sisters in blackface that don't even like their own people that will hinder us the most. you know. But yeah, just to go back to that Trump's executive order, I'm for it. Anything that will curtail this industry and still make it safe for the people. And you know, there's many things that I could say about that. Um, Let me see what you say. It's very important to keep doing something, if nothing at all. At least do 2,000 steps a day. Yeah, I was thinking about getting one of those bracelets, Ghetto Child, one of those bracelets that show how many steps you take and stuff like that. Um, yeah, yeah. I think I did I think I had that stair stepper set at like 10 minutes, just entry level 10 minutes. And I was like, like I said, I want to, yeah, eh, my 20s, my 30s, and my 40s, that was different. It was like, yeah, that's no problem. I was like, bitch, you 60. Okay. Just yesterday you did nothing. The day before that you didn't do much or whatever the case is. So anything is better than nothing. So I did like 5 minutes yesterday, and I just got to build my stamina back up. And that's really what it is. One of the books that I picked up also was it's a yoga book. It's like 2,100 yoga positions and stuff like that. I said, man, if I do that, I know one sister that might pop out of the works and be like, okay, this is what you need to do, and this is what you ain't doing, and let me tell you this, which isn't a problem. It isn't a problem at all. Um, so, but one of the things that I was gonna do this morning, I still have another bookshelf. I've been lazy. I haven't put the other bookshelf up. I was gonna put the bookshelf up, let y'all see that, um, and just roll with me for a little bit, but we're not doing that. I got something I want to play for you guys. While you guys were doing what you were doing in the past couple of days, I realized that I didn't see the movie The Color Purple, you know, and so it came up, got to watching it, and yeah, um, there was a song in it, and this was the day I watched this, the day that that man passed away, and it's a song in it where she taught the song about "I'm here," and it gave me some comfort. It really did. I hadn't even realized that I hadn't seen that musical. I heard all the social media stuff about it, Taraji not getting paid, and heard the thing with her and Oprah and all of this. And um, I was like, it's kind of fucked up to inspire the people, to make us feel human, okay, and not this construct of, AI and social media and all this shit. I wanted to play that song, and I was like, as soon as you play that song, you're gonna get struck. Um, it's like it's like people taking away each one of your options to put you into this small place so that your voice can't be heard, or you can't uplift the people, and you can't have any type of camaraderie together unless you're arguing at each other. It's like when I was in the truck that one time, and the Mexican, the white boy, and the brother, they all get into it over the CB, and they calling him a bean eater, and calling him biscuit lips, and um, somebody else calling him baloney lips, and all this shit that was going on. And I'm not in the front of the truck stop. I'm back. I got a ways to walk to even get up to the front. And the brother gets up there and he just goes the fuck off on him and starts to tell him, say all these derogatory things, and then turns around and says that, he would rape, sorry, you guys, R word his daughter, and, because they got this who got the biggest dick thing going on and stuff like that. And I'm listening to this, just shaking my head like, oh my God, I can't believe that it's on this level. And I chimed in on the microphone and said, basically, he's trying to upset you. No, I didn't say that at first. I tried to let the brother know, hey, bro, I'm out here by myself. You piss these motherfuckers off, and I gotta walk to that truck stop. Walk up there to that truck stop. Tell him what's gonna happen back here while you're irritating the fuck out of them. And that mother voice, if you would, that woman's voice of wisdom, or whatever. And I got off the mic and it went back on. They kept on to a certain extent, and then it dawned on me, um, that the brother was doing that the same way we do shit online, same way they do shit over there on um, channel, just antagonizing people. This shit ain't true, but it makes for a good story. It makes to agitate the natives, if you would, to keep this program rolling in our head. Um, Sometimes the people just don't think about the fallout of things. Okay, I mean, even stuff you could say, "Hey, that's just happening in your head." Okay, fine, but it causes you to operate a certain way, and to me, it's just the highest level of irresponsibility that we have. But anyway, let me find this thing that I want to play for you guys. It's a song. Actually, it's not a song. It's a piece of poetry. Mind you, let me say something before I do this. Over there on Supremes, just before they closed out, they played some stuff on AI, and Cuddy and Supreme was showing. I guess that was Drake. I don't know who that fucker was, who was rapping against the AI, and the AI, generated thing was really putting lyrics together. Battle rapping a human on this Chat GPT thing. And looking at that, I was like, wow, Bolston talked about that as well. You know, Shaheed Bolston was talking about how AI can write your songs. And the thing that's going on now is that the more that we rely on AI and things of that nature to pull us into this new reality, if you would, um, the more we're gonna lose. Because let me just say it like this. When that man passed away that night, and I was thinking about what I wanted to do as far as going to the gym and all of this and what had happened. Um, I was talking to a friend, and I was like, "Yeah, let me get off this phone. I feel like writing. I want to write some shit." And of course, I didn't. I started listening to social media and watching TV and all this other stuff. Um, and then to see this AI do that, I'm like, it goes back to what Bolson says about when we lose our creativity. And it's like these banterings that they have online, this rhetoric that they have online for 12, 19, 36 hours and shit in this network that you have is basically destroying creativity. It's repetitive, um, and turning people into robots. I mean, I watched one video, and the lady said this. She said, the way that a man destroys um, a society, if you would, and society is more like my word, is through what he does. And she said, but the way a woman destroys society is by what she says. And um, I decided to remain silent. There would come a place in this when people realize that they need to shut the fuck up. Because for the sake of content, they just need you to go the fuck off. They need you to crash out. They need you to look in your Rolodex of information and try to attack anything that's being said by people that are not up here to help you in any regard. They're just up here to keep the wheels of social media rolling. I mean, even today, I didn't even want to come up today because I was like, just don't say shit. Um, you know, and mind you, I do have to give a shout out to somebody who will remain nameless, who basically said, um, get off social media for a minute. And I watched that day and I said, oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. The light turned red and that side of the intersection needed to go through. They needed to get a pass to come on out. Um, all I can say, y'all some funny motherfuckers. Let me find this video. Let me find this thing. I want y'all to hear this. Um, this is really. Let's see how much. Okay, I got 4 lights on it. Okay, y'all might be able to hear this. So let's see. Where's my phone at? Again, this is something that I ran into. Uh, Shit, how long has it been? I think his name was Man of War, and he used to be on Pal Talk. Was it Pal Talk? Yeah, it was way back on Pal Talk. And he put this up here, and I've used this a couple times when I used to do things at church for Mother's Day. I don't even know when Mother's Day is. I think it's this weekend. Um, Trying to find my phone, you guys. Um, but this was something that he wrote to his own mother. I know a lot of times y'all want to forget that y'all have fucking mothers. Okay. Where the fuck is my phone at? Y'all, I done lost my damn phone. Somebody want to call me so I can find my phone? I'm fucking with y'all. The fuck is my phone? Oh, okay. Damn. All right. So here's something I want y'all to hear. And I can't clean it up. It used to be on my one of my other computers. Um, it used to be on one of my other computers, but that computer crashed, and so I think I put it up online some years ago. So this is it's gonna have some background noise in it, but hopefully you guys will be able to hear it. See if I can find it. And I'm gonna take a little run to the ladies' restroom while y'all listen to this. Let's see. Damn it. I just had that bitch. Now where'd I save it to? Where is it? Mhm. Oh my God, where the hell did it go? All these damn apps and shit. Give me a second, you guys. Let me check y'all out. Peace, Padawan. Thank you. Peace, peace, peace. All right, I'm trying to find this song. This is for the mothers out here and the children and the sons and daughters, and because everybody had a mama. But anyway, um, but hopefully you guys can hear this as soon as I can figure out where the hell it is. All right, go back in here. Let me see. And my daughter, there it is. Okay. My daughter, like I said, I gave her my phone, and she didn't delete any of my pictures nor my videos. Um, and when I saw that she had this song right here, I'm the emotional ass female, okay? I cried. Okay, I started tearing up. I said, "You don't even know what you have." So hopefully you guys will enjoy this if I can get it to play.
This writing is entitled "The Rose." Named Mama. The ministry of a mother is the most awesome ministry in a family. And it's hard to imagine a family not being blessed and touched by this particular ministry that God has ordained, God has anointed. And when I think about a rose named Mama, out of all the people that are in a family, there's no one like your mama. A mother is a special gift from God that should be treasured, appreciated, and she should be loved with the greatest honor and respect. As a reminiscent, Mama, you are the heart of our family, and I have found your voice is the rose petal of the family. It has a softness, yet a firmness to touch each of us in your own unique way. Think about it as heaven's gift. The Lord saw fit to sow me in the depths of your womb, my secret place, my shelter. I was inside of you, ever growing with you, and you were shaping my life. I felt what you felt. I could hear what you hear. I could even perceive your joy. I have never been wrapped up inside of a love so awesome, so great. Never been intertwined with someone, your spirit, and planted in a field of love so rich. Mama, you have been our strength, our counselor, our teacher. I can remember the times when we were sick. You were our doctor. And even when we didn't know, there were times you would even pray for us. Mama, you are my rose today. And your love comes from God. And because it comes from God, your love will never die. You have showed me how to love, to give of myself, and to be a flower in someone's life. Mama, the essence of your whole persona, your being, your character, it just says so much. You see, not only have you been a mama to me, but you've been a mama to so many of my friends in our community. You touched so many people's lives. And today I thank God for you, Mama. And I love you so much. And for each and every one that has a mother, we need to appreciate. Each of us need to appreciate. You see, for everything we have is just for a season. Then it's gone. And many times, so many people do not appreciate their mothers, and they treat them so disrespectful. And they feel like, Mama, you can't tell me what to do. But I thank God. Mama has been given an insight, has been given a focus from the Most High God. And Mama, no one can take your place. Just the way that you are, you have a way of bringing the family together. A way of teaching a family how to love, how to work together, how to be a family. Mama has a way of making the home feel so welcome, so warm. That's another reason why I thank God for Mama. Each and every one that has a mother, take time, tell her, Mama, I love you today. I appreciate you. I just want you to know this. I didn't call to ask for anything. I didn't come by to ask for anything. That's what you know that I love you. Appreciate you. God bless you. A rose.
Hopefully, you guys could hear that. That was by a man who was known as Man of War on Pal Talk many years ago. And it was so beautiful that I had to record it. And I've kept that. It's been 20 years now, almost 20 years. Um, when you get on this side, you'll understand a little bit better. Um, so much I want to say right here, I just can't. But I hope that was inspiring for some of you guys, those of you who are mothers, and those of you who have allowed this toxic environment um, to make you forget and change. Um, they say the only thing that's constant is change. But yet, the more that we change, of course, the more we remain the same. And um, regardless of what's going on in the greater society, sometimes it is necessary to reset to your default. Um, just giving an example, I was looking at this and thinking on how many people in this environment might look at me based on my responses to certain things. And some would ridicule things that may come out at this particular point. Um, Not understanding when I reset to my default. We we know that there has been a lot of things that has happened in our society. Um, and the more we try to find out what those things are, the further sometimes we get away from our own defaults. Um, because of the narrative of what the church has done and religion has done, and you know these people who I didn't even know at one point existed, which are like the Hebrew Israelites in real time. um, when you default back to your upbringing, it can cause you ridicule. um, when I spoke about silence earlier, for those of you who don't know, it's clear that in order to get your channel to pop, if you start battling and beefing with people, it'll make your channel pop because people like to be entertained. They like sensationalism and all of that. And the one thing that I didn't want to do was to make my channel a beef channel where this person says something and then I go back at it and this, that, and the other. I was here for the information, but it's becoming apparently clear that the information is attached with so much bullshit that it's not even funny. Okay. Um, I think that the place that people don't want us to get to is to realize the truth about us always being here. The name changes that we are talking about in the class reclassifications that we are talking about are very modern. Are we Indian? Are we Black? Are we African American? Are we uh, European? Are we Mayan? Are we Aztec? Are we Inca? Are we any of this shit? Are we Moors? All of that stuff um, is very modern. And the thing that I think people don't want us to recognize, again, is that we've always been here. And those old names, as in them old time religions, are still here. That I'll say it, y'all might not agree with it, but the fame and fortune of a P. Diddy and the Diddy parties and all of that, it's not anything new. It's them old religions that have always been here. Those old people who have always been doing this. Is there any difference between the pedo rings, sex rings, and cults, the nature boys, the Yorks, any of them? Is there any difference in them sacrificing men, women, and children than way back when they say that the Aztecs did it or the Inca or any of that? Um, I had an opportunity to listen to a brother who's been doing a series for a while, and for those of you who don't, y'all would know him if y'all listened to him, and y'all probably did yesterday, and that would be uh, Jaguar Olmec or Olmec Jaguar, which I realized I had never listened to him, but who he was playing, I listened to him briefly many, many years ago. And to bring all this old stuff up to say that those so-called biblical characters and language variations happen right here on this land. This is kind of what they don't want you to get to understand that. They need to keep you in a modern stance with new organizations that make you think that they're going to be your savior, your saving grace, your protectorate. And it's just a matter of creating the same thing over again, over and over again. Um, I got to go back and listen to him. Um, and I can't really do it with all this other bullshit going on, but I got to go back and listen to him to see what I can glean from his information because um, when he mentioned this stuff about Moses or Moshe being buried under whatever he said, I can't get the quote, and then to be on smoke signals, and I think it was smokes, where they talked about Moses, I think in Florida. I was like, these are the same fucking stories. But to get to that place to really go back and say, fuck all this new shit and the new clothes that the emperor is wearing, pull all that shit off and see it for what it is. A lot of people are not going to let you do that, are not going to let us do that. So um, it's important for, if not for you, for me, to move away from the bullshit. Okay. And that's going to be kind of difficult for me because I kind of like hanging out with y'all, but y'all fuck a sister's head up, boy. Um, but that's the information that is going to be the most challenging, because once you start to reveal that, unless you're accepted in a particular circle, um, the same thing is going to happen no matter how much you study, research, bring out. It's always going to boil down to what it just boiled down to. Um, Anything to keep us from knowing and to keep us in belief and arguing over facts. Um, so, ooh, yeah. Anyway, I think I got one more thing that I want to play, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Um, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to play this because I think the video is actually too long. Let me see. Where is it at? See if I can bring it up on StreamYard. I don't know if I can bring it up on StreamYard. Let's see. Bring the phone in. Let's see if we can get this in here. There's one more video that I wanna play. I'm gonna see if I can get the phone in. Okay. Yeah, that sucked. Okay, let me see. Where would it be? Is it here? Videos at? See, sometimes you just gotta say, you know what? To hell with everybody else. Do you? Let me see. 450. 450. Oh my God, where the hell did it go? Dismiss all this shit. Oh my God, I can't find it. Where the hell did I put it? So it's only giving me an option for 2 minutes? That's some fucked up shit. Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? No. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to do this another way. And I'm gonna take the strike on it, so we gotta do it another way. One more song that I wanted you guys to hear this morning, before I get off of here. So hopefully y'all can still hear me. Okay. And we'll take the strike from Oprah this morning, because this is another song that spoke well of some shit, because you motherfuckers be on some bullshit. Um, this is it. Yes, this is it. Now, what I was gonna do is video of me listening to this song I was gonna play a video listening to this song and singing it because most of you guys really don't know what I look like. I have a tendency to say some dumb shit like I got white children and stuff just for the sake of saying some dumb shit. But you just make yourself look stupid. Um, I want y'all to hear this song here.
I don't need you to love me. I don't need you to love. I've got, I've got, I've got my sister. I can feel her now. She may not be here, but she's still mine, and I know she still loves me. I've got my children. I can't hold them now. They may not be here. They still mine, and I hope they know I still love them. I got my house, it still keeps the cold down. I got my chair when nobody can't hold down. Got my hands doing good like they supposed to. Showing my heart to the folks that I'm close to. I got my eyes, no, they don't see us for now. They see more about how things really are now. I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna hold my head up. I'm gonna put my shoulders back and look you straight in the eye. I'm gonna flirt with somebody when they walk by. I'm gonna sing out, sing. Oh, yeah. I believe I have inside of me everything that I need to live a bountiful life. With all the love that lies in me, I stand as talentless tree, and I'm thankful for every day that I'm given. Both the easy, hard ones I'm living, but most of all, I'm thankful for loving who I really am. I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful and I'm oh yes
I just wanted y'all to hear that because that was a song that got me over after I saw after the guy passed away and the bullshit that went on online. And so I want to shout out to the people who actually did this because I had to remark upon the fact that when this came out, all the other side piece conversations came out, you know, about what Taraji got paid and, all that went up the rumor mill. And Taraji was beautiful in there, all the sisters. I got to hand it to all of them. Some of them I didn't even know if I wanted to watch this as a musical because I saw the movie, I read the book, I know the backstory behind that shit from reading the book. Okay, is only alluded to in the film, but it made me think about this community as well. That possibly part of the reason why we didn't talk about that movie in this circle over here was for that same lesbian shit that just popped out about a week and a half ago with Soul Sister Jackie Brown. Okay. But it was something else that I noticed in that movie, and I don't know if y'all noticed it or not, but I thought this was interesting. Okay, let me stop this screen share. I thought it was interesting in as much as if y'all saw the movie, if you saw the movie, y'all notice how all the brothers that when they introduced the brothers, they were already men. Um, Mister, he was always that character, young and old. Okay. Um, Ceely's dad, always that character, young and old. Suge's dad, always that character, young and old. Now Harpo, you see him as a child, but there's not a lot of, you know, the musical didn't show him throwing something and hitting Ceely in the head. It didn't show that one like from the first movie. But for the most part, he was always a grown man. Okay. But when it came to the sisters, go back and watch the movie. When it came to the sisters, they showed them as young girls and children, which were being used as, preyed upon, if you would, fucked up their life, And y'all know what the story's about. Y'all made it about the lesbian shit, but it wasn't. Um, but then all the grown characters are a different actress. And I thought about this. I said, why are the men all the same, but the women have to change? Shout out to the people who did the movie. Okay. Um, when I saw this movie as well, when I watched it, I was remarking to myself about how when I saw that movie, it was between my first and my second child when I saw the movie. And there were a lot of things that resonated with the upbringing of the raising of a female, a woman, a girl, the things that we have to deal with while um, some of our own sisters decide they need to attack and um, whatever. Um, People who go through this shit. As I'm thinking about this, shout out to the brother who said, "You don't know what people go through and what they've been through." And there's a lot of things that I don't want to say. Like I said, y'all don't know the story, but you want to hear the story. But the story does us no justice because it's got to be some fucked up shit. It's got to be something in there for us to say, I knew it. Okay. Let me show you how fucked up this situation is. It don't affect y'all, okay? Because it's not your life or anything like that. But um, trust me, I got hit the wrong way with this shit, okay? Um, a lot of people want to say that it is some trauma that people have been through to cause them to choose alternative lifestyles, okay? And that solidifies the excuse that they need to have without the accountability that they really should be addressing. Okay. People don't want to look at that story because this is just a story. It was a compilation of a lot of women's stories. A lot of women's stories. Um, and a lot of things that our mothers have had to go through. Um, and like one sister told me, she said, some people just like to see you in pain. I don't know if that was a sister or brother that told me that. I can't remember. Some people just like to see you in pain. Um, trying to get my thought together right here, y'all. I really am. Um, if I had to take a statement to say this, it would be no nation can rise higher than this woman. Um, and the sad thing is being sacrificed by our own. So you might say, Navi, you getting ready to be all melodramatic. No, let me make it plain to y'all. I was sacrificed in this fucking community to silence my voice. And y'all got it. Okay? You got it. Um, I guess that's why the song itself really stood out because when it said, I got my sister, I cried because my mind went into the future to think about the day that, me and my sister up in age. And one of us going to be singing that song. Okay? I actually want it played at my funeral. Okay? If my sister's still here. Okay? Um, my children not being here right now, but they still here. Okay, all across the board, and I can't hold them now. It really brought me back to reality. In as much as the social media stuff, half the time it's a bunch of bullshit. Um, just wasting people's energy and never getting down to what may or may not need to be addressed and dealt with. Um, but I don't even see the things that needs to be addressed and dealt with for the healing of our community and our people happening, um, because of too much male Negro bullshit for the most part. Okay. Um, I wasn't trying to go down this road right here. I really wasn't. Ugh. Some of our folks think that people are here for their amusement. Um, and take the time to try to blame it on somebody else when it's you and your kind that is the problem. I'm sorry, family. I gotta get off of here and I gotta move around because I know I'm gonna piss some people off if I keep talking. Um, ooh, yeah, I need to get off here. Um, it was a good movie, okay, and it did help me to reset a little bit, to see if I really wanted to play this social media game anymore because it's so many people um, that are bucking against us being better in any regard while doing the same shit that they say that they're against. Um, just trying to figure out where this is going because I've seen this happen before. I saw this happen early in my life. And um, I'm just trying to see where I'm really trying to see where this goes. It's Yeah. Let me get off of here. I got some stuff to write. Let's see if I can make y'all hate me a little bit more. Okay. Thank you, truth be told. Anyway, appreciate you guys for coming through. Um, I'm gonna hold some of my words right here. Uh, what'd you say? He said, on my son's hand it says loyalty. I had to check myself. Be loyal to self always. Walk in truth no matter what. Mm, okay. Wait a minute. Wait. There's something I can pull from that. Damn, it's something I just saw while I was reading that too. Oh, yeah. I remember when I told y'all somebody threatened my life. Um, day before Christmas, day after Christmas, they had the nerve to ask me if I could loan them some, no, not loan them some money, but help them out in a bad situation. Something wrong with this young generation. Okay. All right. They done went and pulled everything out of my husband's house, put not a dime into anything being done, didn't want me to get anything. Now they want me to come and play cleanup woman and rescue me, rescue them, um, you know, after they did me real dirty for the past few months. If you anywhere around here, no. Okay. Fuck no. Okay, cause motherfuckers wasn't thinking about, hey, Carrie. Yeah. Um, yeah, loyalty is a motherfucker. It is. Um, crazy. It's fucking crazy. Okay. Sometimes the sacrifices that we make are never enough. Would you say sipping on cayenne pepper and peppermint juice can clean the arteries? Okay. You know what? I don't have any cayenne pepper. Wait. Yes, I do. I gotta go get my medicine bag. Okay. Yeah, I gotta go get my medicine bag. I got a lot of stuff in there. But yeah, I'm gonna do some pineapple and papaya today. I just don't want to clean this shit up after I get finished. I really don't. Okay. But anyway, yeah, good luck to you guys. Okay. Hey, Gary Beak. Um, good luck to you guys in what y'all trying to do. Um, in some aspects, I hope to see a lot less of you as I move away from the bullshit. Um, because we will not hold each other accountable. Um, and that's part of the programming of being able to use a lot of our people on social media. Um, I hope you guys realize in some point that y'all just got to shut the fuck up. And that's the only way you're going to be able to counter dealing with these folks that want to banter and use rhetoric and argue and trigger people online. If you see me jump up on a panel, if you see me jump up on anybody's damn panel, and if it goes left, know that the only thing that I'm here to do at this particular point is to not get triggered by your bullshit. And that's why I'm mad at myself because I allowed myself to get triggered when that bitch said what the fuck she said. And for those who still rock with her, I'm looking at you real crazy right now, trying to figure out why you still rocking with dumb shit like that. And it just makes us look weak because it's hard for us to say anything that we really need to say because we come against a majority of niggas doing nigga shit. Okay? Yeah, yeah. Um, I get that. I get that. If you do breathing techniques twice a day, no allergies and stuffy nose. Okay, I got you, Tanya. Um, yeah, I was supposed to make a doctor's appointment. I haven't made one yet. Ugh. My sister asked me about that shit yesterday too. Um, let me see. So I don't know. I'm all about the color purple right now. I'm just gonna sit back and see what else Mister throws on the wall. Okay, yoga. Okay, yeah, that's a man, girl, sis, whatever. I just saying. I found that book, and I was like, this is a good resource book. It's by Daniel. Yeah, they do say Daniel um, Lacerda, founder of Mister Yoga. I Incorporated. Like I said, it's 2100 asanas, the complete yoga poses. So I'm gonna look at a little bit of it. There is no way I'm putting my leg on my back and bending down. And yeah, some of the shit ain't happening. Okay. Detox, skip town. I mean, dude, jokes is one thing. Remedies to the rescue. Star seeds is something to behold. Yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating because I know how to handle this, but I just don't want to put myself on the chopping block because when it comes time to get the healing that I need after doing that, um, puts me in a bad situation. You know, it's like what they used to say in the church. What happens when the healer or the minister needs healing? Who do they go to? And the funny part, there's been people up here. Like I saw Peanut Nola drop back in somewhere on one of these channels. Um, people had it where you up here, you trying to get you a man. No, I'm not. Okay, because I had to fix me, and wasn't nobody gonna go for me until I fixed me. Okay, but I wasn't looking for that. Still married, whatever, whatever. Um, then it was part, oh, well, you gay, so you up here for a woman. I'm like, I'm not trying to get with any of y'all. You gotta understand that whole lesbian shit came out way before you motherfuckers. Not take it with a grain of salt. Um, and I had to say, I'm not looking for anybody either way, one way or another. Okay, we're just social beings for the most part, and part of it is like, this bitch is threatened because it's another woman up here to see. Are we gonna teach anybody anything? Show anybody anything? Lead anybody anywhere when y'all think like that? You know, um, give you an example. I had a real beautiful smile. Okay, one of my best qualities, right? So way back in my 20s, I was talking to somebody, some dude, just I don't know even know what it was. It was no sexual encounter. It was no anything. It was just human beings in the same sharing the same space. And I smiled, and this nigga said that I was flirting with him. I'm like, the fuck? Okay. The other day, when I went to the gym to sign up, there's two brothers in there, right? One's very nice looking, one not so nice looking, both of them playing basketball. Okay. And motherfucker don't know me from a can of paint. Okay. But but anyway, you don't know me from a can of paint. So I was like, y'all done called me with that basketball. I heard that ball going, da 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 da, whatever I said. And I'm new to the area, meaning that nobody's really seen me around here because I've been in the truck. And the guy that was handsome, more handsome than the other one was, he begins to say, he said something. And I said, yeah, I used to play basketball for VVC. And he said, that was a long time ago. Bitch, I know I'm 60. Okay. But just that, that was a long ass time. That was a long time ago. And he said it with this, I need to keep you at a level. Like he had to remind me of how old I was, how long ago I played, or whatever the case is, not even considering how that might affect me. Okay. And then there was this other nuance that was in there. Um, you can tell the other guy kind of wanted to have a conversation or get to know me, or whatever the case is. And it's not, let's just put it like this. If I play basketball with you, I don't sleep with you. Let's just put it like that. That's been going on for the longest in my life. And the dude that probably had all the ladies and a wife and this, that, and the other, he was trying to keep the other brother from me ever focusing in on him to even have a conversation with him. And I was like, damn, y'all do this shit all over the place. Okay. Um, I don't know if y'all get what I'm saying, but just these nuances about human behavior is some crazy ass shit. Okay. And it's like when the other guy would try to say something to me, the one that said it was a long time ago, he just kept interrupting to the point of telling me, what did he tell me? He introduced, as I'm walking, I go to the other side of the court with my ball. Um, and he sees the headset on my head because I forgot I was listening to something online. Who do you drive for? Da, 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 all this shit. So I drive for myself, you know. And so we get to talking about trucking. He mentions this job possible opportunity. So he's got my attention, All right, so we talk about it, and when he breaks it down, he's like, "Yeah, you go from California to I think Henderson, Deadhead to Laredo, go over to Georgia, come back to Utah. I mean not Utah, come back to Oregon, and whatever the fuck he said." And I'm a driver, and I'm like, "Well, damn." That's about 2 weeks. I'm just like, shit, that's about fucking 2 weeks. Okay. I said for a solo, because I thought he was talking about weekly, because mostly we're talking about what you're going to get paid on a weekly basis. And he runs this. I said, for a solo? No, no, that's team. Bitch, did you ask me, okay, if I was running a team with my truck or anything like that, And then he's like, well, if you only need to do 300, $3,000 a week and da 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 and blah 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 and this opportunity, and I said, what you hauling? What's that haul? And he's like, well, it's sand. Now I hadn't been down in Texas running sand. My sister was running sand for a while, but I used to do pneumatics, so I did sand, fly ash, jib rock, all this other stuff. Yeah, you just do this and you just drop it. I said, so a bottom dump. Yeah, yeah, it's bottom dump. Blah, 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 blah. Bitch, no nobody want to do that damn shit. Okay, no, $3,000 a week. Yeah, nigga, shut the fuck up. Okay, but it just tripped me out because just like some of these folks online, the first thing that they think about is how to diminish you and your greatness rather than celebrating who you are because of who they think they are. Um, so I don't know. I guess I've been getting slapped in the face left and right on some shit right now, and I'm literally like, Let me go find me another community. Is there a women's community around here uh, that ain't got nothing to do with this carbonation nature boy bullshit that's going online? Um, or the other side of that, folks got a degree, and because you don't have a degree, you can't say shit. You're not worthy. You don't fit in the group. You know how they were talking about how people from the islands have a tendency to think that they're better than the mainland people, and how they always consider us to be stupid or slow, ignorant, backwards, whatever the negative connotations are. This is the shit that I see in this environment. Okay. Um, yeah, but people want to blame it on other folks. No, it's us. The little YNs that's running around here. Anyway, let me get offline because I done got pissed off. And still working on chivalry. What you say here? Okay. No shit. Okay, some people are working off payroll, and I know. Like I said, some people shouldn't have even been able. Some probably still sitting in fucking jail. Um, let me go up. Let me see. Y'all got a few things up in here. Okay. It's Tanya back. Tanya backwards. Yeah, I'm not the same after my son's death. I can do it, so you can do it. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to. I have no choice. I have no option. Okay. Um, I got to keep my head above water, and I got to keep my head above the fray with all of this. Okay. Because some people just they bought and paid for. Okay. Um, so all we have is our last breath. Don't let the chemicals within shroud common sense. A slave to things that were injuring me. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Okay. Let me see. Higher self within. Salute, Omek. Mm-hmm. Say 50 myself, and you wouldn't know. Grand Rising. Okay, got you. He was caught up in his adrenaline. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that kills it. Man, that's the fucking thing that kills it because um if I would have had the capacity that I had before, um, just being able to move and breathe, I would have ran that game with them. I would have. Um, but the reality of what's going on with my body is like, man, I can change this. Matter of fact, I was telling a friend about something that I heard online where they talked about, and I know some of you guys are all into this colorism shit, and I hate to have to say it was a white man that said it, because yeah, whatever. But the man said something along the lines of, if I take a woman, and he just used a woman for example. If he said, if I take a woman and I choke her, she'll think that the most important thing in life is the breath. He said, if I take that woman or that person and put them into a room with no water, they'll think that the most important thing in life is water. He said, if I take them and put them wherever, I can't remember where he said, and gave them no food, they would think that the most important thing is food. And then he said something about exercise, and I didn't even expect this shit. But he was saying that if Um, I can't. I'm trying to get the way he said this, but he started to talk about exercise. That some of the effects of us not exercising um, can go on for years. And the way he was talking it, he said you can last for 3 minutes or something like that. Some people can do 3 minutes without air, a few days without water, a few weeks without food. He said, but you can go a lifetime without exercise and you won't recognize the effects of it until much later. And some of those effects will be irreversible. Um, and I think that was the day that I was like, I need to start moving around and doing stuff because I get fatigued around here. I don't even know what's going on, but I get fatigued. Um, but he said that about the exercise part, and that was a reality check. It's like, yeah, this stuff is affecting your mental, but what's affecting your body? You know, um, get to moving, do something. Okay, I took Seven out to the park and let her run, and as much as I knew I should have taken off and at least, jog the length of that football field, I didn't. And it was just sitting back there gnawing at me like, your ass need to get up and move. Like one of my sisters said, just move, you know. Um, mm. So that's what I'm going to be concentrating on. Okay. Trying to see if it's any life left in this old body. Because I don't want to be that man laying in Dollar General having my chest pumped. But I wish I could have taken it to that guy. I really would. Okay. I would have loved to have, done a few things that I can no longer do, which is really messed up. When you lose your tendon and you blow your knee out a couple times, you lose your tendon. I just stopped doing what I used to do, you know, because you can't do it anymore. But um, that's what I want to focus on. I want to go back to my default. If that's Christianity, it's Christianity. If it's writing poetry, it's writing poetry. And if it's getting my health right with exercise and a new thing as far as nutrition, because I think in all of this, a lot of it has to do with the nutrition. Um, I'm enjoying, y'all know my story if you do. If you do, you do. Um, being in the truck for a number of years, making that sacrifice, if you would, uh, not exercising, not cooking for myself. And I called up a friend or two, relative or whatever, and was like, the one thing I'm loving about this is being able to cook for myself. You know, um, I fixed some rice. Y'all be like, that the fuck? I fix rice every year. Whatever, whatever. I eat rice, whatever, whatever. But you never realize what you're missing or what you missed. You know, to get up in the morning and say I want pancakes and to actually make pancakes myself. I'm in heaven. I literally am in many regards. Um, and on some of it, I can feel my health getting better, um, but I can't slack off with those things at all. Um, And even though people have affected me in my mental, um, I'm not gonna let that conquer me because misery loves company. People like that get used, and they use people just so that they can feel better. It reminds me of the movie where where they said for us not to shrink, um, because we make other people feel uncomfortable. And that's my challenge right now, um, because I know that there's several people that I've talked to online that do not agree with this lifestyle, or my former lifestyle, should I say. And because they know just a little bit about it, they decided to put it out there with you. And it's only one of those two people, females in particular, that I forgive for it. And that would be LaShondra. But that other bitch, never. Okay. And as long as she's around, I can't be around. Okay. So you said just walk daily, keep your heart from racing. Man, yeah, that's the part when I was on the stair stepper. Um, I didn't know where my my heart and my pulse rate should have been, and I was like, I would hate to get up to a certain level, and then I have that a certain thing that happens with me, and nobody knows I'm back here, like my family, because I didn't call my daughter and tell, hey, I'm going over here, just in case, you know. Um, so I just in that aspect, I just stopped at like 5 minutes. Like probably should just rest for a minute and get back in it, and I didn't. I just went to another room. So I got to get better at that. Um, it's crazy too because when I look back and I look at all the years that I've been smoking, um, I started smoking because weed wasn't legal. Okay, but and they said that if you smoked a cigarette behind the weed, you would get higher and all that stuff. And I was a child at the time. I was a teenager. But um, as you guys know, I way back in the day, I used to be in line for a scholarship, an athletic scholarship, and I got with some folks in Milwaukee, and we started smoking weed, ditching school, um, drinking, um, say smoking cigarettes or whatever, and it affected me running track. It did, you know. Um, and just on the real tip too, um, I don't know if my mother ever quit smoking. I know my aunt and my grandmother did. Um, but I can say that to a certain extent, smoking is a slow death that we put upon ourselves. I remember in 2014, after I moved to Chicago with my husband and got that truck with that trucking company that I was with, I had set it in motion. I said, okay, on this day, this is when I'm going to start to not smoke. And then bullshit exploded for the most part in my life, the separation and all of that. And I was like, okay, I still got to quit smoking. Let's make another day. Let's make another day. Let's start planning for another day. And um, after so long, I just stopped trying to stop smoking. And I know that it's the smoking that has my health the way that it is right now, aside from the not exercising. Um, but to be honest, I don't even know if I can quit smoking. Uh, That's a hard addiction right there, boy. So, where we at? What y'all got? I'm sorry, I wasn't even looking. I cannot vape. My daughter, she found me some years ago because they want me to quit. Sometimes I feel bad for one of my daughters because when she hears me coughing, I just feel the anxiety. And sometimes, you know, certain things she say, I was like, I'm okay. Yeah, whatever, whatever. But my one daughter, she had gotten me a vape, and it's only one vape that I could actually use. But when I went back to go find it, I couldn't find either that brand or flavor or whatever, and everything else just fucks me up. I mean, I wouldn't vape it for the simple fact that it made me cough then like I'm coughing now. So, that's some crazy shit right there. Um, yeah, that's I mean, one of the good things, and I'm gonna say this, like the brother that was at the gym, he said um that he had been smoking for a long time. And when he said that, I was reminded that when I did play for VVC, um, not only was I the oldest one on the team, but I smoked through all of it. I did all the sports that I did at the community college and stuff. I smoked through all of them. You know, sadly, I smoked through all my pregnancies and stuff too. But um, with not exercising, it was kind of like, when I used to feel a certain way, I'll just go out there, I'll play ball, go to the batting cage, but mostly play ball and stuff. At another points, go dance and stuff like that, and still smoking, but yet you're working out your organs and stuff, that your insides to a certain extent. Sitting up there in that truck, just sitting on my ass, holding the steering wheel, getting out, going inside, opening the doors, closing the doors, fueling it, and not doing any type of exercise. Just I stopped being able to balance that shit out. You can feel it now. And then aside from this one company that I work with, after my husband and I had separated, when I got up in the truck, not the second job that I had with that this company called Nussbaum, um, they had me in a truck, and I kept getting sick in the truck. And this is when I first started really getting sick. I kept getting sick in the truck. Um, and couldn't figure out what it was. I remember going to the doctor. There's like, hey, you got COPD and blah blah blah, and the breathing treatment and asthma and all this other shit. And I'm like, something else is going wrong. Something else is going on here. And it finally dawned on me that it was the truck. But like, um, in the trucks, they don't have uh, carbon monoxide monitors or anything like that in the truck. And I didn't see anything. I didn't see any exhaust leaks or anything. But I kept telling them there's something wrong with this truck. And you got to understand, you're sitting over all those fumes day in and day out. And if it's cold, if it's hot, having to keep that truck on, you're sitting over those fumes day in and day out. Um, what's that thing called? With the regen thing on there where you get 100, almost 200 degrees and stuff while they're burning off the fuel with the emissions. You still sitting over that shit. Okay. Um, so one day I finally went in there, and mind you, the company was mostly Caucasian, white, whatever the case is, Jewish, whatever, Australian, whatever, Austrian, whatever. Um, and I went in there. I was like, something is wrong with this truck. And prior to that, nobody believed me. But what s- um, they ended up taking me out of that truck because I was getting this cloudy white mucus that I was spitting up, um, and it was thick and shit like that. But um, when they brought the truck in to look it over, they finally decided, yeah, you're right, because people couldn't even stand next to the truck without getting sick. Okay. Watermelon, man, watermelon. I know. Okay, I got mullein. Matter of fact, okay, mullein. I was getting the extract. I found the extract, but I couldn't find the flowers, or the leaves. Finally found out that like Food for Less, where up here in the Mexican section of the seasonings, they actually have mullein flowers. So when I was up here the other day and I said, hey, I'm making a tea. I was making a mullein and ginger tea, which is pretty good. All right. Okay, I gotta kick them off. I gotta kick that off. Um, and it's 6 o'clock, so I'm gonna go up here to this gym shortly. Testing, testing. Which one? See, which one is talking? Okay, that one's talking. I'm not sure which one I am. Hold on a second. Let me see. Testing, testing. Okay, there I am. All right. So, but yeah, I did the mullein and ginger. That's been doing good. My daughter got me a turmeric. I know it's like a turmeric and something. She said to put cinnamon in it. I forgot about the cinnamon, but you do that in a milk. And she said you can do it hot, um, or cold. I tried it hot. Um, it tastes pretty good. I didn't know turmeric was actually gonna taste like that if you put it in a milk. So that was kind of good. Um, but I had been doing the extracts until I found this mullein flower. So I've been making a tea out of that. What else did you say up in there? Okay, I just threw my watermelon out. Would you say you can get a full body for 1400? A full body what? What are we talking about? Oh, it'll tell you. Okay, a full body what? What are you calling it? Okay. Would you say juice is 5 ponds? All flavors are awesome. The cough is the tar coming out. Okay. I cough at first, just saying because I'm concerned for you too. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I really have to work myself out in the daytime or when I get up. I'm like, man, what's gonna happen when I got to get back up and be at work at 5? I might have to get up at 2 to blow my system out and shit. But I'm okay right now. Okay, I mean, I'm actually breathing fuller. That's why I want to go over here and go back to the sauna. And I'll probably do. I don't know. They said like you can do like 30 minutes um, at a time. There's something about taking as much time to cool down as you did to heat up, and something about a shower. And what they were saying about the shower was go take a shower and then get back in the sauna for 10 minutes. So I want to try that. And even like yesterday, I know they were saying like 20 minutes, and then the other thing said 30 minutes, and pouring some water on the coals. And I didn't do that until it was actually cooling down. So I didn't get that humidity um, that I could have gotten before. I was just like, trying to really assess how that sauna was going to affect me. And like I said, I felt my whole chest open up. But then as I cooled down, I got this pain back on my side. If y'all remember me telling you about my granddaughter, um, what she had did around here, causing a little fire around here, and me having to get in the shower and I couldn't move or get in the tub because I couldn't move. I was having a type of muscle spasm. Well, that I felt that yesterday, like on my left side, same side, just higher. But I'm hoping that the more I do this and couple that with exercising and deep breathing, because when I took the 4 treatments at the hospital, they were telling me, hey, make sure you open your lungs up and breathe deep. And that's easier said than done sometimes. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes I can't get behind my cough, and sometimes I can't get behind my breath. So, um, I know if y'all keep hearing me light this damn cigarette, y'all gonna cuss me out in a minute. Okay. Um, Let me see what else y'all got up in here. So I saw the mullen. Let me go down. Uh, what you say, bees? Control your right hand and your left hand. The money to buy the cigarettes transfer to buying something healthy. You can do it. Not try to do it. You can do it. I know, bees. That this is the hardest thing. Um, shit. This is the hardest thing for me. Just to. Whew. Um, yeah, yeah. It came a point way back in the day, in my 20s, that I asked somebody to handcuff me so I wouldn't, because I know how I am with this addiction. It's been with me for the longest. Um, like I say, it's the habit of it. So, yeah, I tried all kinds of shit for that. There's one thing that helped, but I don't want to do that again. There's one thing that helped. Yeah. 14 days in jail helped. But anyway, uh, yeah, my daughter was telling me to get a humidifier, and I meant to, and I was like, I don't want to buy shit else. But yeah, that's one thing as well, because she was suggesting that I do that while I was in the truck, and I was like, I don't have an inverter in the truck. You know, how the hell am I gonna do this? But that is something that I can do about around here. Sunflowers and honey. Sunflowers and honey. Mm. Okay, I'm missing something. Truth be told, when you say you can get a full body for 1400, what is that you can get? A full body what? Um, if you can, let me know. Um, okay. So just to let y'all know, because of the way everything is, if y'all see this things change with the channel, where maybe I'm opening up the camera and I'm doing something, uh, just understand it's a little different. It's different things going on around here with me. Okay. Um, Ooh, I'm hoping that by the end of the summer that I can come back and say, hey, I'm a lot better. I can move and actually show y'all that um, to some extent. It's a bitch getting old, man. It's a bitch getting older. Okay. You know, okay. He said slow and easy. Oh, a CAT scan assessment. Okay, CAT scan assessment. Okay, got you. Got you. Yeah, it's crazy because they go and they review my shit and they go, yeah, you look good. Everything is good. Everything is fine. You know, um, I got to go do a DOT physical next week too. So let's see what happens with that. But yeah, when I went into the hospital having that breathing problem, they said everything looked good. Just told me to breathe deep, follow up with my doctor, which I didn't have one, and I still haven't set that appointment up yet. Um, yeah, so I just hate going to the doctor sometimes. I don't want to hear that report if it's, you know, something, um, final, you know, um, because my husband, after we separated, that's when he found out that he had lung cancer and he had a good portion of his lungs removed, went through the chemo and stuff like that. And of course, when he passed away, they said he had 20% lung capacity, um, which tells me after going to the doctor and they're talking about I was in some kind of, I think, low 80s or something like that. And my daughter was like, "Mom, I need you to get out of that bed and get on the bed and I need you to be at a da 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 da." He literally fucking suffocated. Um, but yeah, I do need to go make that appointment. All right, what else y'all got in here? Um, oh yeah, okay, okay, that's still radiation. 400 for heart only. My cash app crashed out. I thought. I mean, my app crashed out. Not my cash app crashed out. My app crashed. Okay, got you. Um, more habit and addiction. Find an excuse for why you chose to start smoking. Make it the same reason you stop. That's easier said than done, beast. I know why I started. Okay. Okay. But I don't think that's gonna work because yeah, I don't give a fuck about people. I started for peer pressure. Okay. Um, and people don't mean that much to me to make me stop anymore. Because the people who love me the most have wanted me to stop. And I, who love myself the most, have wanted to stop. And I just won't. It's a slow death, man. To be honest, it's a slow death. Okay. When people talk about people don't know what people have been through, um, it hits hard. It resonates. So, I can say that when I used to go to church, I didn't smoke at church, and I tried to stay at church a lot so I wouldn't smoke, that kind of shit. But that's the closest I came to quitting. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe when we go to membership, um, I'll share some things for those who aren't mature enough to handle those things. But anyway, family, it's 6:07. I can breathe, and I need to go get in the sauna, get on this machine, um, and try to keep this pushing a little bit. See if I can do something that raises my heart rate and also strengthen my body a little bit. Um, I was surprising shit happened. I was up to I think a size 10. My ass is back down in my 20s weight. I'm a size 6 now. If I drop one more size, I'd be in my damn 20s again. Which my sister was like, she mentioned that you back to your original weight, when you were younger. Shit, I saw my picture when I was in my 20s. I was like, you look skinny as fuck. I don't want to be that skinny anymore. What you say ain't not? I'm happy I turned 58. Once you tap back into your living waters, it's over for those doctors. Okay. Only had to see them during pregnancies. When I see all the bull on YouTube, nah, health is wealth. It is. What you say, Beats? Self control, self esteem, self love, self helps, selfish health becomes selfish. Yeah, I'm trying to. My friend told me 2 years ago that I'm supposed to concentrate on me, and I'm still running around here trying to care about everybody else. Um, but I'm trying to get my feet back on the ground. That's really what's going on right now. Trying to get reacclimated to doing all this stuff for myself on the ground, maintaining it, and not being afraid of success. Um, you know. But that's what I asked for. uh, you say Navi, miso 20s, weight now too, no time to eat. Yes, caring for others. There are two governing entities in the health field. Okay, okay, yeah. I think the hardest thing was for me, which was unexpected. It was this time in the past where when I get tired of a job, I move, right? So it became a matter of fuck this local shit, fuck these motherfucking tankers, and fuck them, just a whole bunch of shit. And I was like, I'm going back out on the road, but my husband didn't want me to go too far, so I was trying to find something that I could work with, that would be feasible for both of us. And I was getting ready to go to this job that was in Vegas. And I used to go to Vegas every day because of the job I had. And I found this, trucking company that ran up and down the road, started inquiring, was almost in there, getting ready to go to the orientation, quit one job because I was gonna start the other job. Had needed that room to start the other job and go up there because they had approved me. Me and my husband, my son, my husband, and myself. We out there in the street just playing ball, right? And y'all might have heard this story before. We out there playing ball. Instead of having the basketball court in front of the driveway, we moved it down the street where it was a little more level at. And we're just playing. Now, mind you, I used to pick with my son all the time when he was younger, pick with my kids because you can't get the ball. You can't get the ball from your mom, whatever, whatever. And then, of course, when my son turned a teenager and the first time he dunked on me, I was like, you know what? And fuck you. I ain't playing with you no more. So, anyway, and my husband was short. Okay. So, my husband was short too. So, we out there playing ball. My son is dominating both of us because he done sprang up. He's like six, I think he's 6'2", 6'4" now, something like that. But he's he out there just dominating the hell out of us, and I'm competitive. So I ran after him. Okay, I at least put up some resistance. And when I took off to go get him before he could elevate, my tendon snapped on my right leg, and yeah, um, it never recovered. And that's what led to the inactivity of sports and exercise and stuff. Um, yeah, and that was my pride and joy right there. My smile and my calves. My smile and my calves. I lost one of my calves, so can't elevate anymore. Yeah, yeah. Um, I lost that whole calf like back in the day. Uh, actually, I have a picture that I've had for probably about 14 years of this woman. Looks just like my aunt, but she is not my aunt. It's somebody else's picture. I showed it to my sister, and I was like, this is not Auntie. I ain't gonna mention her name, but this not Auntie so and so. This is a picture that somebody else showed, and my sister was like, I thought that was Auntie. You know, whatever my mama's sister's name is. Okay, I put it like that. Um, but back in the day, my mom, my god cousin or a cousin, I can't remember. I didn't really know her, and my aunt, they used to get accused of being the Supremes. Um, my one aunt looked like Diana Ross, and my mom favored Tina Turner. And Tina Turner had them legs and stuff. So um, yeah, I had some badass calves back in the day. Bitch. Okay. But I snapped it. So, I can't get up like I used to and stuff like that. Sometimes it would get tiring. Even when I was running, that leg would start to ache and stuff. Um, some people said that if I would have had the right type of therapy, that it could have come back. Um, yeah, but I was in a boot for a minute. I was in a boot for a while. Um, anyway, so all of that adds to the shit. Would you say one pharma, the other holistic? One pharma, the other holistic technology. Okay, okay, got you, got you. Yeah. So, but yeah, y'all, I got to get out of here. I got to go and grab me a shower and take my ass over here to the gym because I want to make that a regular part of my routine, even in these later ages and stuff like that. Um, yeah, shit, crazy. It's funny when you don't realize that you're 60 or 58 in your case. Okay, what you say, Beast? It's a pleasure. Always enjoy accountability, responsibility, positive affirmation. No more excuses. We're cheering for you. Thank you. If you can do it, you can do it. Skates and bicycles. Man, I thought about the skates. I actually did. I was like, I wonder if they have some skates in my size right now, somewhere around here. Because there's no skate shops around here. And my bike is in storage. You know what? You just gave me an idea, but Be Small. I'm gonna go get my bike out of storage. Yeah. I'm gonna go get my bike. Okay, that'll work. Yeah, I'm gonna go get my bike. All right, y'all. Um, y'all will see me around here. I just gotta slow off of the conversations because they're not getting me anywhere, and the things that I see with them is disheartening, and the level of play that some of the brothers want to do is shameful. Okay, and better than I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. But the best thing for me to do is to remove myself from thinking that I'm a part of any of that because it's going nowhere. Okay. For them, whoever they are, it's their agenda, it's their program. Okay. But I see too many things that got me looking at this thing sideways. Because even when T Turner came up there and she put up that symbol that Nature Boy be using, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. It's time for me to move. Okay. Um, yeah. Um, you know, the setup be the setup. Oh, no shit. They got one down in Victorville. They not. They got one. I was getting ready to flip that around the other way. They got one down there in Victorville. Man. Mm-mm-mm. My other one of my eldest daughter, she likes to skateboard, and my youngest daughter was like, "Mom, get her a skateboard." Yeah, trying to make her feel better. So I got her a skateboard. It's sitting in the closet, but my granddaughter was out here riding it. I was like, that's cool. I tried to get my ass on it, and because of I'm heavy, heavy in as much as I can't get up like I used to, I don't have that agility. I got on that skateboard, got scared as fuck. I was like, oh shit, I can't even do this. I can't tic tac, do the tic tac no more, and shit that I used to do. It's a bitch getting old, y'all. But I'm gonna charge this phone up. I'm gonna charge this phone up, just to say stay accountable. Um, go grab my shower, get my stuff together, go over here to the gym, and there's nobody in there, so I'll probably open the camera up and let y'all see me doing a few things. I also want to put this bookshelf up, which technically should only take like 30 fucking minutes, and I just haven't opened the second box. There have been some books. Oh, this is all random right here. There's been some books that I've ordered over the years. Like, why in the hell didn't I get my books? Somebody suggested a book for me to get, or two books for me to get. I ordered them. Just in case you listening, I ordered them and then found out that they had been shipped to Texas. So luckily, Luckily, on that, when I realized that, I asked my sister to go over to where I used to live, and the lady that's living there, she had just thrown the book had just come, and she had opened one and she was getting ready to throw the other one out. So she was able to get my sister was able to get three of the books that I recently ordered that I had not received. So I'm glad I solidified that. And those are going to be some good books because they're dealing with shit, shouldn't be telling y'all that. Um, American discovery of Europe and America BC. So I'm really like getting into those two books to see what is there for that information. But anyway, she's gonna ship those to me, and then I ended up ordering the books again. So mm, I'm probably gonna have three copies of one of those books and two of the other one. Um, but those will be here shortly. So yeah, yeah, that part. Um, anyway, open up the camera a little bit, show y'all a few things around here. Uh, I'm trying to design my logo for my truck. I have an idea, uh, but I got to find the right people to do this logo for the truck. Out of the list of, let's say, seven things that I need to do for the truck, I'm about halfway through. I went on and um, had three people to handle particular things that needed to be done, and I still have to pay for my insurance to get me some insurance, which is going to be difficult because when you don't have longevity, when you're just starting a company in trucking and you haven't had insurance for a long time, it causes a problem with being able to get loads. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go up under somebody who had longevity. But I don't want to be scammed out of shit. So I'm going full owner operator, y'all. Uh, and I'm hoping to get, if I have to, and I know I'm 60, but if I have to, maybe 6 more years of driving. But once I look at this, get this thing set, maybe I put a team in that truck and just, run it from my room back here. Um, I know you guys aren't in my life or anything like that, not real in my life or anything. But I got to set that damn office up back there, and I got a Papa Sun chair that I realized it also got messed up in the storage. The cushion got messed up in the storage, so um, I got to go get some stuffing, you know, material for the pillow part of the Papa Sun and uh, the material to cover it. Some buttons and all this other shit. Because I got to recreate that cushion back there. But I do have a sewing machine, so that might show up. Y'all can watch me struggle through trying to sew again, because that's been a minute. Um, I still got some things to do around here. I want to share it with you guys, but with all this damn trolling shit that people doing, y'all, it makes me very uncomfortable. Um, but I figure, like, it's some of our folks and some white folks up here doing some shit. Uh, Other than talking about who we were and trolling each other and trying to trigger each other, I don't know. I kind of want to go that way. Some DY. What do you got? DIY. Um, and see how that works. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I can teach you to sew. That's gonna be funny. Check this out. Check this out. Sewing machine, right? Check sewing machine, right? Um, so who is that? Joann's. They were going out of business. I don't know if you still have one in your area or anything, but who in the hell told me that? I think my daughter told me. Joanne, Joann's is going out of business, this, that, and the other, right? So we rolled down there, picked up a bunch of shit, and I said, well, if they're going out of sale and they got like a 75% off sale, I probably can get a sewing machine if they have any left, right? Got down there, they did have sewing machines left. So, and I didn't pay this much for my other sewing machine, but these sewing machines were like $400 or $500, and I got it for over under 200. Okay, I got one for under 200 with the discount that they had. There was a lady there who was saying that she had a sewing machine, and this is for you guys who do repairs and stuff and understand mechanics and all of that, or machinery, if you would. She was saying that in order for them to fix her machine, they wanted, I can't remember the number, but somewhere between $500 to $1,000 to fix her machine. And she decided, standing there talking to me, that it was cheaper to get one of these ones on sale than to get hers fixed. Okay. Yeah, we went through Michael's that same day, went through every damn aisle in Michael's, and I had to push myself back like, nope, that's not what we're decorating the house with. Nope, that's not what we're gonna do. Hey, that's cute right there. I limited my purchase at Michael's, but I did buy some dried flowers at a reduced price because let me see if I can bring the phone in. Show y'all something real quick. I guess I can show y'all this. Okay. Is my phone still? The phone died? You gotta be kidding me. Okay, I guess I can't show you that. Have to show you later. Excuse me. Yeah, my phone died. Damn. Yeah, phone died. Okay. So basically, when I was in Texas, I found these masks, right? And um I thought they were African masks. Okay. I thought they were African masks. And I was talking to a friend and they actually saw the pictures of the masks and they was like, no, those are indigenous masks. And we start breaking down some of the stuff that was on the mask. Okay. Um, the person was very knowledgeable. And so I was telling them that, when I was in Texas, these masks I had all in one room. And being that it was Texas, where I was in Texas, I was like, ain't nobody doing this. Like I have a sister-in-law who, when you walk in her house, it's all kind of African shit and all over the place, from her travels. Um, but me, I was like, I got some Asian shit, I got some African shit, I got some Indian shit, different stuff like that. But when I was in Texas, I was at this little antique shop and I found these masks. And I was like, that's cool. But they had different designs on them. And I was like, this shit been sitting here and these people aren't going to buy this. I said, let me have all of them. So it was like 11 masks, right? And so one is like two masks the same, and then another one's two masks the same. Then it's one that's three masks that are the same, and then there's one that's four masks that are the same. But when I was in Texas, I had a little two-bedroom house, and I put them all in the living room. And my thought here, not realizing how big the masks were, for not having them, having them in storage for so long, I said, I'm gonna take all those masks and I'm gonna make a wall clock out of them. Okay, just get the little arms that you put in the middle, and then put the mask all around, and that's gonna be a clock on the wall. But when I got here and I started looking at it, I said, I don't want all of those in the living room like before, right? Okay, I said, I don't want all those masks in the living room. It's gonna take up a whole wall, yada yada yada. So when I started pulling them out, happy to see them again, I said, okay, these have this color in it. I'm put them in the dining room. These have this color in it. I'm put them in the living room. These have this color in it. I'm put in the bathroom, so that they all weren't concentrated in one room, right? Because I'm decorating again. Okay, so the ones with four, I was like, where in the fuck am I gonna put the four? So what I decided to do was to take the four masks and make a box out of them, like an umbrella stand out of 'em, okay? Connecting all four of them together at the corners and stuff. And we're still dealing with this right here because I'm being lazy. But to make like an umbrella stand out of it, but instead of putting umbrellas in it, to put dried flowers in it. And I said that'll take care of the 4 masks. So that's what I want to show y'all. I haven't finished it yet because I haven't put a platform. Um, I haven't fixed the inside of it so that I can put the dried flowers in there. But I was gonna put dried flowers in there with like the plumes, like my mother had before. Put them in between the two bookcases and all of this stuff. So it's kind of fun decorating shit, but at the same time, I know I got to get back to work, which I hate. Okay, I know I got to do that. I don't even want to be gone anymore like that. I don't want to be gone over the road like that anymore. Um, but I want to show. I'll show y'all that. Now y'all gonna make me. Y'all motivated me to actually finish it. I got them all standing. All the masts are connected, but I just don't have that interior piece, and it's not finished. I pulled all the shit out of the vehicle and just put them in there, and they're touching the ground right now. They shouldn't touch the ground, but I'll finish that little thing up and maybe show y'all those masks and stuff. What you say? Store run. If you light up, use one cigarette, take a lighter, and mash it until you can kick the habit. Enjoy the weekend. Okay. Okay. I'll try to slow down a little bit. I had some on they were giving these ons away, on, and they had different flavors, and you just put them in your mouth. Because at one point I did the patches, I did the gum. Um, of course, we tried that little vaping for a minute, but I have the ons. I had picked up a bunch of those. They were like, if you buy a pack of this, the cigarettes I smoke, then you know this truck stop, which was the pilot, got this special deal. They'll give you these little on packages, and what they are is you just put them like tobacco inside your gum, and it gives you that nicotine rush or that nicotine that you're craving um, to slow down on the smoking. So I have a bunch of those in my storage because I switched companies when I was working for. Y'all remember when I had the Black Mac? Hey, Latrell, when I had the Black Mac, I had just started collecting those, and then when that company ended, everything went into storage. Um, so yeah, we got to get over to that storage and pull that stuff out. Get this office straightened up, get that craft room straightened up, and still go through these shit that came from Texas. Anyway, yeah, and wash the truck. I got a lot of shit to do, y'all. So I don't know. I may use y'all. I may use y'all. They've been using me for a minute, so maybe I'll use y'all. Y'all can watch me do some shit around here while other people say some shit around here. So anyway, let me get off of here for real, for real. And next time you see me, just ask me one question. Did you go to the gym? Did you work out? And it's either gonna be a yay or a nay. And if I didn't, cuss me the fuck out. Okay? All right. I can't go cold turkey, Latrell. I can't. And would you say get going? I'm going. I'm going. All right, peace, y'all. Um, don't take my shit too personal. How it went today. I'm in my feelings about this shit. It just felt like the ultimate betrayal, and those who rocked with it, and it just seems like the ultimate betrayal. But anyway, peace, y'all. I will see y'all a little bit later in the day. Like I said, just ask me. Just ask me if I did it, and if I didn't, you have my permission to cuss me the fuck out. That'll motivate me. All right. So let me get out of here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. Um, hope if you didn't find anything that you can use, hope you just found out a little bit about me. Okay. All right. All right. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little bit later. Probably at the gym. Peace.